I've had business coaching from Paul Simpson through PDS for well over a decade now. I've had access to people who changed my life, and I've just shared it. I shared all in that class. I share exactly not only how it's not how we do things. It's not a step-by-step process. It's not you fill a prescription. It's nothing to do with that. It's about your culture and your people and how to hold them accountable and hold them accountable in a fun way. And to be honest, I don't mind saying this on here. I start day one with everybody comes into work and works hard. I go into the emotional intelligence and I say the main problem in a culture is the boss doesn't tell them exactly what we want them to do. We think we do, but tell them to work hard is not exactly what we want them to do. And I teach them how to write that down and how to go into that. And then when we tell them exactly what we want them to do, then they do it and succeed. And we praise them for it. And you praise what you want repeated. And it sounds simple, but I spend the whole 2 days trying to flip flop from boss doesn't tell them exactly what they want to do. Employee works hard. Boss gets frustrated because they're doing the wrong thing. Employee gets frustrated because they're working hard and boss snaps at them. The emotional intelligence of that destroys culture day after day after day. And I try to flip that scenario to where the documentation, which is very short and simple. One thing I ran my company on was one of the shortest policy and procedures known to man. It had about 30 total pages, but we used those 30 pages. I mean, they were what we went by, and they're living documents. I know that was long, but
no, that's good.
That makes
So
sense.
who would you say would be the one person that inspired you, like you inspired, like from your story, the man that you inspired that had the tear down the cheek? Who would be that inspiration? Who's been that inspiration for you?
There's a couple. Terry Norvell and Kelly Babcock have been inspirational to me personally. I stumbled across them professionally, but we became great friends. And they had so many people they had touched. Paul Simpson, my business coach, changed my mentality. I was totally clueless. I was running a pharmacy that was failing. If you've ever heard my keynote, I say this on stage, I was failing. I had some anger issues. I was extremely competitive. I've got an athletic background, and I had no emotional intelligence, and I was destroying my company. I was going to go bankrupt. I was on a bad place. The relationship through PDS let me hear some phenomenal speakers who I studied and read on. Steve Gillian, who doesn't know he impacted my life, but he's the first person. He had a thing. He said, "Who you are when you're mad is who you are." That hit me in the eyes. And so Steve Gillian impacted me from stage. Yeah, because I didn't like that person. Mark.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, no, that helps me a lot.
Yeah.
No, for real. Mark's just looking at me like, yeah.
Yeah. But from a business standpoint, Paul Simpson, from a opportunity standpoint, what Dan Benamos did for me over my career and trusted me to do some things. And then Kelly and Terry helping me with the emotional impact side. It's just been, those people are close to me, and they've made a big difference. I think emotional intelligence is one of the things that nobody's taught that everybody needs. And I actually teach that in my class now. And so when people think about emotional intelligence that know about it, they think about the fight or flight side of the brain and the amygdala side. And I think that's crazy important. But in my class, I teach you how to do what I call the optimal learning side, and how to release those good chemicals so that people repeat what you want and they grow and they want to be there. And so optimal learning is something that I'm passionate about, and it's something we teach in Superculture.
So that's a 2-day class?
2-day class. Yep.
And so where do you teach that, a couple times a year, or?
Yeah, I usually teach it a couple times a year. We've taught it in Huntsville. We had a class get canceled in Nashville. We were looking at doing the next one in Denver. We don't have dates for it right now, but you can usually get in touch with me at Solutions RX. We'll put those dates out everywhere before long. We just got to see how COVID pans out and what hotels we can get to. Canceling the last one was extremely disappointing because we had some people that were really fired up about the class, but the hotel canceled their meeting room at the time. So, you know, in the pandemic, you just learn and you learn to adapt. That's one thing I think, and I'm trying to take it down a different road, but that's one thing I'm very proud and impressed when leaders move through the pandemic, because it's here. It's here. I think true leaders in this figure out how to go forward safely as possible. But I think the cancel culture is hurting us, and I think it's leaving a huge opportunity for leadership that can push forward.
I think based on the day, we're going to try to do more stuff with you. I apologize that I haven't spent more time with you in the last little COVID piece, but it's cool. Super excited you're getting to focus on it. I sit here thinking I wish all of our pharmacists were interacting with you, not only for, hey, they need to be doing new nutrition stuff, but some of the other cool stuff you're doing, the way you know about Pioneer, just your passion for independent pharmacy. I believe I'm super excited. I think I might go to your class on the
culture class?
The culture, even though it's pharmacy specific. But
actually, it's not.
Right.
We do it business specific.
Yeah.
And I went to a couple professional keynotes, and COVID knocked me out of an opportunity to speak to a grocery association, and they were coming to my culture class, and I took it to some other small businesses. So as soon as COVID's over, the next progression of Superculture is to take it to other businesses. It's not as pharmacy specific as you think. So
because I would love, we have our employees go through Dale Carnegie and stuff like that. It might be a fun thing for the managers to go through.
Take my family.
Take my family.
Cohen's not sitting through that unless
Cohen's not sitting through a Superculture.